Hey everyone, welcome back to this thrilling and suspenseful story. Today's journey will blow your mind. Facing the police's inquiries, he spoke as if he were telling a joke, completely unfazed by his crimes, while the officers were stunned by his But when the police asked about the burial site, this guy started playing dumb, perhaps unaware that in Korea, if the body is missing, it's like a get-out-of-jail-free card. In the house of 9 people, it felt like a chase came, finding nothing. Just then, old Jin arrived at the police station and saw this guy looking utterly unconcerned, instantly making him furious. Furious, he grabbed the files and swung them down as if playing cards to teach him a lesson. The captain decided that old Jin would take the coroner to Jing's house for an investigation, collecting some hair to see if this mysterious blood could. The police knocked for ages. No one answered. Old Jin, thinking the house empty, smashed a window with his elbow. Only then did he notice a girl inside, calling the cops because someone broke in. What a surprise, as Jing had a daughter. As they finished the survey and prepared to leave, seeing the girl so pitiful, old Jin thought taking her along might earn him some emotional comfort. Even though he knew Jing might be in serious trouble, he dutifully comforted the little. Back home, old Jin spotted a card on a parked car and decided to make a call, thinking it might add some spice to his investigation. But his colleagues were just as confused. All the women who had served that guy had vanished into thin air. Until then, a colleague told old Jin the only girl still around was at a nightclub living it up. He found that woman eager to ask where that unreliable guy lived, but she shrugged and said, "It's been too long. She complained that the guy was so useless he made an impression, but she didn't keep any evidence." Old Jin scratched his head and asked, "Do you have any photos as evidence?" But her phone was as empty as her memory. The little girl overheard their conversation and burst into tears, making old Jin a bit frazzled, but his little buddy was still trying hard to find something. Finally, his buddy opened the door, and old Jin rushed over excitedly, but after rummaging through the basement, they found nothing. Just as they were about to give up, they noticed some strange drawings on the wall peeking outside, and thought it was all too complex. They saw various torture designs, and old Jin stormed back to the police station, thinking this bad guy was like a next-level creep. He grabbed that guy and started beating him up, trying to force him to reveal Jing's whereabouts. "Why aren't you talking? Where are you? You jerk. What's going on?" But this guy was like a durian, impossible to crack open. The captain figured it was time to step in, but ended up blocking the police, and after old Jin pummeling him for an hour, the guy finally gave up and hundreds of officers quickly began digging, but not a single shadow of a body was found. Old Jin understood that this guy was stalling, pointing at the map, claiming the body might be where the crash happened. He angrily shouted, "We don't have time for a game of digging to China here." Police were set to take him for on-site identification when a prosecutor suddenly blocked them, making the chase seem endless. The prosecutor saw the man's innocent face and thought it was like he was saying, "I didn't do anything." He pressured the chief, saying if they couldn't find evidence, not only would they let him go, but they'd hold old Jin accountable too. Old Jin was all set to investigate the crash site, only to be blocked by more cops. He felt trapped in a maze. The captain tried to sneak him away, but old Jin panicked, grabbed a metal rod on seeing police. At that moment, the prosecutor ordered the man's immediate release. In this battle of justice versus profit, old Jin impersonating a cop got himself hauled back to the station. Despite resisting with everything he had, he was mercilessly pinned to the floor, feeling just like spilled milk. On the way back, old Jin kept stirring the pot and, taking advantage of the distraction, triggered a traffic accident. Talk about a stroke of luck. He sprinted, unaware of his phone ringing non-stop. It was Jing calling. What a twist. Jing was not dead, just momentarily faint. She used her secret breaking-free technique to escape. She ground a towel to cut the ropes and smashed the window, bursting outside. But the street was eerily quiet, just a bit creepy. She raced into a convenience store, begging the owner to call the police, but the owner was so startled that she didn't know what. At the same time, old Jin was running for all he was worth and completely missed Jing's call for help. Talk about grimly ironic. On his way home, the guy accidentally noticed his cigarette pack was empty and ended up in the very convenience store where Jing was hiding. Without hesitation, the man bought cigarettes and left when the owner said, "A pervert's chasing a woman here." She hoped he would stay to protect them, while nearby, the cops were lazily snoozing in their car. It was downright ridiculous. The man requested a hammer under the guise of self-defense and cautiously locked the door behind him. After the landlady fell, he slowly neared Jane, thinking the moment had come, yet knew it was too late. When old Jin arrived, the shop was sealed. The man fled through the back window to investigate his game over. Old Jin, downcast, looked out at the rain and noticed Jesus' statue at the far church. Wait, that's familiar. He realized the statue looked just like the graffiti in the basement, with matching wounds, the curiosity bubbling up from his gut. Old Jin hurried to find the priest, and, sure enough, the sculptor was the same criminal. He rushed to Mr. Park's villa with the address the priest provided, ready to question this artist about all the curious art he had created.